Prologue. The porcelain bowl arrived on a Tuesday. It was delicate white ceramic with hand-painted blue swirls that caught the light like water. Thomas Mason placed it on the entryway table with ceremonial precision, then stepped back to admire his anniversary gift. His dark skin glowed under the warm light of the foyer, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he smiled. "It's beautiful," I said, running my fingers along its smooth rim. "A beautiful bowl for my beautiful nerd," he replied, his voice a warm baritone that still made my heart flutter, even after 30 years of marriage. Something permanent. I didn't yet understand the weight of that word. Permanent. How certain objects persist through upheaval. How they bear silent witness to transformations both gradual and violent. That night, I placed my keys in the bowl for the first time. The soft clink of metal against porcelain was oddly satisfying. Thomas added his own keys beside mine. 2 sets, perfectly paired, like us. 8, he said suddenly. "What?" "We should always keep 8 items in it," he declared. "Not 7, not 9, 8. I laughed. "Why 8? His expression turned serious, almost stern. "8 is the number of infinity, Angel, stood on its end." He traced the figure in the air. "A perfect balance, the number of completion, of cycles. It's important." "Thomas, I didn't know you were superstitious," I teased. He shook his head. "Not superstition. Protection." He placed his hand on the small of my back, drawing me close. "The world isn't what it seems, Angel. You see light where I see shadows. We need whatever shields we can find." I indulged what I thought was a harmless quirk. In the years that followed, I grew accustomed to maintaining the count. Keys, coins, paper clips, buttons. 8 items, always 8. Thomas would check each night before bed, ensuring the balance. When I look at that bowl now, I wonder what Thomas knew that I didn't. What he sensed approaching on the horizon of our lives. Because 20 years after that Tuesday, the bowl remains. But everything else has changed. The blue swirls seem deeper now, almost hypnotic when I stare too long. The bowl knows. It has watched it all unfold. Chapter 1. Perfect Night. The credits rolled, and from the darkness of the theater, our conversation was the only one that mattered. "Are you going to clean that up?" I whispered. Thomas chuckled beside me. "If we didn't make a mess, what would the staff do?" "Not call us the sloppy ninjas," I retorted. "We're getting called that anyway," he said as we stepped into the lobby. We exited the movie theater onto an empty downtown street. The wind swirled between the closed storefronts, making me pull my wrap tighter around my shoulders. It was our 30th anniversary, and we had dressed for it. I was Angelica Mason, 55, feeling vibrant and beautiful in a cocktail dress and heels that showed off my long legs. Thomas, a handsome and distinguished 57, was sharp in a tailored suit and tie. He was practically vibrating with excitement from the thriller we'd just seen. "Now be honest, babe," I said, studying his face in the dim streetlight. "You didn't see that coming, right?" "The ending? Absolutely." I tilted my head, knowing better. 30 years of marriage teaches you all the tells. "For real," he insisted with a confident shrug. "I'm from Brownsville. BK all day. We're always 3 steps ahead." "So that wasn't your popcorn spilling when he threw Candace over the balcony?" A grin spread across his face. "Okay, I didn't see that coming." We both laughed, and a familiar warmth spread through me. "So I picked a good one for our anniversary," I said, slipping my arm through his. "I wouldn't go that far," he teased. "A psychological thriller with a love story twist, not my jam, so I'll give it about 6 out of 10 at best." "A 6? Hey, your last one was a 2. I threw a playful karate punch at his shoulder, and he blocked it, bobbing and weaving like we were back in our 30s. "Oh, I see you still got form," he said, pulling me close into a hug as we continued walking. That's when I noticed the stranger approaching from the opposite direction, his eyes fixed on us. I found my body tensing, and I returned his stare as Thomas instinctively pulled me closer. The man passed, disappearing into the shadows. "It's such a catch-22, I said quietly. The movie? How? I giggled nervously, then hinted with my eyes at the stranger. Him? What about him? It's okay. It's silly, I said. After 30 years of marriage, ain't it always silly, my beautiful nerd? He kissed my forehead and I melted a little. You kind of pulled me close to you just as that guy walked by, I explained. Do you think he thought you did that because of him? Or because it's cold? I don't know. Why do you care? Thomas studied my face. Oh, you're worried about being seen as a prude. That man's not worried about you. I know, but the way we treat people, so judgmental. I pressed on. Every vagrant isn't a criminal. Thomas's face hardened slightly. Every scholar ain't a saint. So? I wish the world showed more grace, kindness, patience. You're too informed to be this ignorant, he said, his voice firm but gentle. Why are you so damn cynical? I pulled away, walking ahead of him, our perfect night fraying at the edges. Cynical? He called after me. I don't care what some shady-looking dude on a nasty-ass city street think. I'm not sacrificing our safety in lieu of being righteous. No rational person would. Everybody's not out to get you, I said over my shoulder. You read and watch the news more than anyone I know. I never understood how you've become so naive. Naive, I quoted automatically, showing lack of experience, wisdom, or judgment. Look at my beautiful nerd, quoting Webster, he said, catching up to me. Baby, wait. It's our anniversary. We've had the perfect night so far. He stopped me, his expression softening. I pulled you closer to me because I promised you on our wedding day to always protect you, love you, cover you. I'm being serious, I insisted. So am I, he said. You have this ridiculous desire to see the light in everybody. People are evil, and their true intentions aren't so obvious. That's a sad way to live, I said. He could be a doctor or lawyer. An occupation don't define the spirit of a man. He's someone's father, brother, and son, I argued. I don't know that nigga, he said, and the tension broke as we both laughed. He stopped me again with a gentle hand on my arm. Like I said before, my job is simple. To always love and protect you. And occasionally, watch a bad movie. He pulled me close and kissed me gently on the lips. Feel safe? He asked against my lips. What would I do without you? We continued our walk, but the night seemed darker now. I sensed it before I heard it footsteps behind us, quickening. Everything happened so fast. The stranger from before ran up from behind us and attacked. I heard the thud of impact, saw Thomas stumble forward. There was a flash of metal, a grunt of pain. I screamed as Thomas fell, his body crumpling onto the sidewalk. Thomas! I cried, my voice shattering the quiet street as I dropped to my knees beside him, cradling his head. Stay with me, baby. Please stay with me. I looked up, but the attacker was gone, and the street was empty. Help! I screamed to the uncaring buildings. Help anyone! Call 911, please! My tears fell onto Thomas's face as his eyes fluttered. I pressed my hands against his wounds, trying to stop the bleeding, but it was seeping between my fingers, staining my anniversary dress. My beautiful nerd, he whispered, his voice already fading. Keep it simple. Those were the last words my husband ever said to me. The night that had started so perfectly ended with me broken, alone, and covered in the blood of the man who had been my everything.